Championships coming up next, Agassi and Mooster. Cliff?
The Punisher's intensity is back. The Moose Terminator never went away. The rivalry is real. Both have so much at stake. This is the Great American Insurance ATP Championships. We're in Greater Cincinnati, semifinal day. And in our feature match, Andre Agassi of the USA takes on from Austria, the #2 player in the world, Thomas Muster. Very warm greetings, everybody. I'm Cliff Drysdale alongside Patrick McEnroe. Welcome to 2 semifinal matches today on ESPN. Tonight, you can see on ESPN2, Chang versus Enquist in the second. And our feature match today in this Mercedes Super 9 event is Andre Agassi and Thomas Muster. What about Thomas Muster? First of all, Patrick, the #2 player in the world, and a man that everybody says is only a clay court player, but he's here in the semifinals.
Well, he'd love to prove everybody wrong by winning here in Cincinnati on the hard course. Never won a Mercedes Super 9 here in America. Did win indoors in Essen last year, but this is a whole different ball game up against Andre Agassi. When he's playing his best, maybe the best hardcore player around.
Andre Agassi clearly very much at home here, but it hasn't been a great year for him. I wonder if you think, Patrick, that the Olympic Games gold medal that he won in Atlanta just last week might turn this year around for him.
Well, it certainly seems to have so far this week. He played a great match against Kafelnikov, winning in 3 yesterday. He seems to be much more motivated, much more focused, really moving well and striking the ball clean. So I think that may have been a big win for him, may have turned his whole year around.
But Agassi earlier this year, when Thomas Muster first made #1 in the world, had some pretty scary things to say. I don't think Muster has forgotten that. Maybe it's time now for him to put up or shut up.
I don't think Thomas appreciated it too much. He goes about his business and plays his game and does his thing, and he says, hey, I didn't get those points in the supermarket, and he's right about that. But Agassi has a point, and I think he's going to try to make that point emphatically today.
Dream semifinal, Andre Agassi, Thomas Muster next.
Scratch-proof Swiss watches of lasting value. A joy to look at. A joy to wear. Grado, Switzerland. A different world.
Todd and Celia Unger began their voyage together nearly 40 years ago. Today, they embark on retirement as carefree as when they first set out. That's because for the past 20-some years, they've worked with a broker from Dean Witter.
Respect the power of a client's dream and help them achieve it.
At Dean Witter,
we measure success one investor at a time.
Your daughter has an American Express student card. She'll be able to get great deals on flights home.
It gives you more choices.
With that card, you can extend the payments. It's very flexible.
You're going to get a reward point for every dollar you spend.
Our senior member card has a lower fee.
It gives you some more options.
I'm sure we've got a card that'll work for you.
whoever you are, American Express helps you do more.
ESPN and and the ATP Tour proudly present the ATP Championship. Brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, sponsor of the 1996 ATP Tour. And by the American Express corporate card, giving you the freedom to do what you do best. I don't know about you, but I'm very much looking forward to this match between Muster and Agassi. There's so many exciting elements. Let's talk about a few of them. First of all, we've already kind of talked about how Agassi, when Thomas Muster was #1, was saying some pretty negative things about Muster. Look, he's a one-surface player. He's not really the #1 player in the world, etc. Then the matchup between the two of them, Patrick, you've got them with very sort of different attitudes to the game of playing tennis. Let's take a look, first of all, before you answer that, with Andre Agassi and some of his statistics. 26, Las Vegas, Nevada is home for him. That's where he was born. That's where he's always lived. Current ranking #7, but he has been #1 in the world. And then as you see some of the other stats on him, it's a good matchup, isn't it, Patrick?
Oh, I can't wait for this. I've been thinking about this all week, and what a match to see. Agassi really seems to be playing great tennis. His motivation seems to be back, as we talked about at the top, having won the Olympics last week. And he seems really focused, and I think he wants a piece of Thomas Muster in a big way today.
He was very focused in his match in the quarterfinal. And we'll see if we see the same kind of attitude today. For Muster, you always see the same attitude. There's never any question about that. It doesn't matter which side of the bed that he gets out of. He's going to give it everything and then some. He's 29. Monte Carlo is home. He was born in Leibniz, Austria. And he plays Davis Cup for Austria. They went out to South Africa in the first round. This year, they put him on a grass court in Johannesburg. And you saw some of the other statistics on him. Hard court player Agassi, soft court player Muster. They are on Agassi's home court now. Make no mistake about it. There are some Mercedes Super 9 statistics that may interest you. You see Agassi's 76 and 18. Muster's much less effective at 11 and 8. Agassi has won 7 titles. The last one was the Lipton Championships over Goran Ivanisevic in a final, when Ivanisevic had to withdraw because of injury. The clay court story, as you saw, is a completely different one.
Well, Muster really dominating on clay the last couple of years, winning. He's won 5 tournaments, I believe, already this year.
6, actually.
6 and 12 in the last 2 years. Really the preeminent clay court player we've seen, although he did get knocked out in the French Open against Michael Stich. Of course, the balls were pretty fast this year, so that probably worked against him. This is actually the first time Muster's been in a semifinal in the U.S. since way back in 1989. So certainly a great week so far. There you see right there. Since '89 at Key Biscayne, also on hard courts. And that, of course, after that was when he had that terrible accident before the final, where he got run over by a car and had to have his knee reconstructed. And what a comeback he's made. Here he is, ready to serve.
First point, best of 3 sets. Remind everybody that it was March '89, and on the night in question he came down from 2 sets to beat Yannick Noah. First of all, let's watch the replay.
Well, this is a tremendous first point. I mean, both players striking the ball. If that's any indication of what's to come, this is going to be some match.
Love 15. Muster was going to play Lendl the next day. To celebrate, he had his courtesy car stop at a restaurant in Miami for a midnight snack. His coach was with him. He was getting stuff from the trunk of the car, and it was hit head-on by a car being driven by a drunk driver. Winner from Agassi, love 30. So the courtesy car hurled backward. Its rear bumper struck Muster, and it severed a couple of ligaments in his left knee.
Well, you're going to see Andre Agassi try to implement this play all day long. Get the short ball in the backhand and strike it down the line quickly. Really going to try to take advantage of getting Muster out wide on his backhand. But he's got to set it up first, as he did there, by stretching him wide on the forehand, and then look for the short ball.
First point to Muster, 15-30. Hasn't lost his serve this week.
You don't think if Thomas Muster is a big server,
No.
but how about that? He's yet to lose serve, but somehow I have a feeling, Cliff, that could change today against Andre Agassi.
I bet. Missed it. In fact, Agassi's got 2 break points right here. One thing that I really think is true of this match, and you said it before it started, and that is that Agassi's going to come out firing on all cylinders, and he has. Breaks first game of the match. He will serve leading 1-0. We'll take a break. First semi-final of the day, Agassi and Thomas Muster. You will enjoy this one.
For years, ESPN has been working to improve sports for the fan.
With this new helmet, ESPN commentators can interview a batter while he's at the plate. Slugger Mickey Mantle demonstrates.
Hey, Mick. Can you hear us, Mick? Is this distracting?
Boycotted by players, the helmet did lead to a breakthrough in coverage for all sports. ESPN Net Sports Zone. With Peter Gammon's baseball column, player profiles, everything you need to be a better fan. ESPN Net Sports Zone. Technology for you.
From August 10th through the 18th, don't miss the champions of tennis at the Pilot Pen International. Kafelnikov, the French Open, a champion. Krajicek, Wimbledon, a champion. Plus some of the hottest players on the ATP Tour, including Malavia Washington, Wimbledon finalist, Jim Courier, Michael Stieck, Marc Rosset, Marcelo Rios, and many more. All at the Connecticut Tennis Center in New Haven. Just call 1-888-99-PILOT and reserve your seats today.
Agassi 1-0. Agassi will serve. We've been talking about this controversy earlier in the year. There's a look at the left knee of Thomas Muster. He went through, they were going to say, 6 months of rehab. A month after that injury that happened in 1989, he was in Rome saying, I'm going to be back next year and win this tournament, and he did.
He backed it up, didn't he?
Yeah.
It's just amazing. Actually hit balls from a specially made chair they had designed from him, so he could still hit the ball. Had his leg in a cast.
Motivation has never been one of his problems. Differently. Agassi will hug the baseline, and Muster will hug the end of the court. I mean, he'll be 10, 12, 15 feet behind the baseline.
And he'll keep running whatever it takes. Get that ball back. He's going to have to do a lot of that today. Because just like yesterday, Agassi's off to a great start. He broke yesterday the first game against Kafelnikov, really making a statement early in the match that he's here to play. Well, if this is what Thomas Muster has to do all day to win points, he's in for a long day. Look at Agassi. There it is again. They're down the line, but a little too short there. Gives Muster time. Agassi actually has a pretty good volley there. Muster scurries up and just gets wrong foots Agassi. 30-15.
I have the feeling that these guys have a lot of respect for each other, albeit everything they said about each other. They respect each other's games a lot, although Thomas Muster, you know, he said, look, I don't admire anybody in tennis. I do respect a few players. He mentioned Agassi, but it was sort of a backhanded compliment because he said he's a good guy to advertise with. Agassi holds on, and it is 2-0 first set. Agassi is way down in the rankings now. Thomas Muster not far behind Pete Sampras. Agassi at number 7 in the world. Krajicek, Wimbledon champ. But behind him, Kafelnikov is number 4. And Michael Chang will play tonight. He's number 3.
Well, Cliff, I don't think these guys have plans to go out together after the match, but one thing I can tell you is they definitely respect each other. I mean, when you know how hard it is and how much dedication it takes to get to where they are, so all these guys respect each other a lot. But they also want to beat each other pretty badly, too. You get the feeling there that Muster already feeling the pressure of Agassi's ground strokes, going for a little too much on that forehand. You rarely see him go for a winner like that on the first shot. He's already feeling the heat from Agassi's groundies.
30-15. I said it yesterday. I'm going to say it again. So that is Brad Gilbert yesterday morning when I talked to him about Agassi. He said, look, Agassi is the best on this surface by far. He said the only guy that can beat Agassi is Agassi himself, and he's done a lot of that this year. He beat himself at the French Championships, for example, going out to Chris Woodruff, and then at Wimbledon, Doug Flack, a qualifier, beat him. Or I should say he beat himself there as well. I think Agassi has decided, Patrick, that he's going to get into the net and be really aggressive today, and I think that's exactly how you've got to play against Muster. I don't think Edberg has ever lost to Muster.
Really, that's interesting, but I think you're right. I mean, certainly on the backhand side, Muster's not known for a great pass off that side. And what does he do there? Great backhand passing shot on the run. So
and he holds on. 2-1 Agassi with a break. First set, he'll serve into the sun after this break. Semi-final of the ATP.
What does your printer think of the paper you put in it?
Oh, no. What's she going to feed me today? If it's not Great White, I could get in a jam and choke. It is Great White. Good.
Your printer has good reason to want to be fed Great White recycled content paper from Union Camp. It's virtually worry-free, so it's as good for your business as it is for the environment. Great White, only from Union Camp. One less thing to worry about.
I could go for seconds.
I could swear I heard something.
This is the Great American Insurance ATP Championships. Agassi leading by 2-1. He is the number 6 seeded player here. Thomas Muster is the number 2 seeded player. They played against each other a few times. Last time Agassi won. In fact, the last 2 times Agassi has won. In their head-to-head, overall it's 4-3 for Muster.
Muster's got a 3-1 lead on clay. It's really been a couple years. You see 2 years there since they last played. So I think both these guys have been waiting for this match.
Just check the statistics, Patrick. They've played 8 times, Edberg and Muster. Muster's never beaten him. I mean, I've seen them a few times. Edberg just chips and charges the whole time, and Muster has no real answer. Muster's going to complain about that baseline call. 30 love. The only way you can win that argument is if you stop the point in the middle of the point. If you keep playing, you cannot go back.
Well, especially not on hard courts. On clay, they can actually look at a mark, but there's no marks out here. Although some players think there are clearer marks on hard courts, but no one will look at those marks and change a call, that's for sure.
30-15. Of course, that serve and volley play is not an option for Agassi. He doesn't serve like Edberg, and he doesn't volley near as well either. But
well, Edberg had that great high kicking serve, which Muster doesn't really like, especially on the backhand side. Probably explained all the success he had, but I wonder if they ever played on clay. Surprised if Edberg beat him on clay too. Those are heavy ground strokes by Muster, a lot of spin on them. Agassi handled a couple of them half volleying and making them look easy, but that one really scooted up high, and that's what caused Agassi to hit that a little bit long. Very difficult to take those balls with that tremendous spin on the rise and hit them aggressively. Agassi may be one of the only guys that can do that. Consistently, I'd say.
Yeah, I agree. It's a low percentage shot. Break point for Muster now. Oh, he hit him right in the head.
Oh.
He was passing the ball back to... He did not mean that. That was Muster's ball. Agassi just wasn't looking.
He's apologizing, but Andre won't even turn around to look at him, and finally he does. I don't think he's too happy about that. A break point now for Muster.
That is called good. Agassi can't believe it.
Agassi's asking Brad Gilbert about it, and Brad's looking over. He's right in the corner there, but I think that ball just clipped the line.
You miss a call like that.
Well, you heard what he had to say about it. He thought it was wide. Here's a replay. You should get a pretty good look at it here. Muster with the backhand cross. Very close there.
Looked good to me on the replay. We're a long way from there because we're way up in the far reaches of this stadium. That one was wide. Muster won 12 tournaments last year, 11 of them on clay. And one on an indoor surface in Essen, Germany. That was a Mercedes Super 9 event.
He beat Pete Sampras there in the semifinal. So it's not like this guy's a total bum or something on faster courts or hard courts. I mean, he can play. Certainly not nearly the success he's had on clay, but he actually made the semis in the tournament at Queen's Club right before Wimbledon, which is a good effort for him. I think Edberg beat him there, too.
And that was a grass court.
On grass court, right.
His absolute worst service. And then Edberg lost to Becker in the finals.
Just in case anyone is checking their stats out there, Edberg actually beat Muster 4 times on clay.
I remember once at the French Championships he beat him.
Surprising. There you have it.
Sun's in his eyes.
It's still in his eyes, Cliff.
Oh, great shot.
Incredible overhead there.
Now he can't see a thing.
Muster really working to get the balls back, though. He keeps getting one ball back. High lob. I think this is the first one here. Tough shot there. It's a clean winner on that last one.
Break point. I mean, game point. He's got to keep Muster on the run. If he just gets into a baseline rally straight up and down, he's going to come second.
He's definitely going to try to do that here. So he really pulls him out of court, and Muster just desperate there. Can't control it. So back to, Andre gets it back to deuce from 40-15.
Muster's from a province called Styria in Austria that also produced Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's tough. Easy passing shot for Agassi. That topspin approach shot is dangerous for Thomas Muster, and Agassi takes advantage of it. There's Agassi getting hit on the head by that ball that Muster sent him. He didn't mean it, but 3-2.
Whoever said winning isn't everything never met me.
Champions like Pete Sampras always play to win, and so should you with the winner's credit card, the no annual fee ATP Tour MasterCard. Call toll-free 1-888-222-PETE for the card that puts you on the ATP Tour. Gain insider access to ATP Tour events and discounts on ATP Tour products. Sampras has a killer serve. The ATP Tour MasterCard offers killer service.
Together, we play to win. Call 1-888-222-PETE to carry the card that I carry.
Imagine a 24-hour network dedicated to bringing you nothing but news about sports. The best highlights, latest information, and instant updates, all right now, as it's happening. What would you call this network?
The most amazing, incredible, beautiful, wonderful network ever created by mortal man.
Well, not quite. ESPN News Network, the 24-hour sports news network from ESPN. Who else?
Andre Agassi leading with a breaker serve. He's broken twice now. He will serve. He in turn was broken once. Just a reminder, Sunday night baseball game of the week. It's the Rockies and the Braves. They'll be back in Fulton County Stadium. They had that long road trip because of the summer games in Atlanta. Last night, Michael Tebbutt was a star at the Cincinnati Reds Dodgers game. Only the fourth time that he's been in one of those. He was sitting behind the Dodgers dugout and he caught a line ball, foul ball off the bat of the Dodgers second baseman.
Of course, Tevin, one of the Australian young players on tour.
Anyway, made this left-handed, barehanded catch and the crowd loved it. Talk about sports here in Cincinnati. Record crowds here this week for the ATP.
First ace for Agassi. Down love 15. Big serve there, important point. Throws it up right in the corner. Seems to come up with those when he needs them.
15 all. That's wide. Muster puts pressure on you, though, because, I mean, he will run everything down if he can get to it, and he can get to a lot because he's quick, he's strong, he's fit. Drop shot is good, too good. 30 all.
Great disguise there from Agassi, knowing that Muster's way behind the baseline. Just at the last second, comes under the ball. Almost looks real casual, but Muster too far behind the baseline, can't get to it. As you said, Cliff, though, Muster, all those things. Fast, strong, quick, fit.
He's the fittest on the tour, isn't he?
I think so.
I mean, I think I'd put Jim Courier alongside him, but most say he's the fittest. See a shrug from Muster. There's not a lot of eye contact between the two.
No. Muster not happy with that. Can't believe it, shaking his head. Rips his backhand cross court. Agassi lines it up for the down the line. When Muster would have had that, just drops over. Luck certainly seems to be on Andre's side so far today.
Got a couple of those. Game point. That is wide. It's a good play from Agassi. He's got a good drop shot. Sometimes he hits a drop shot and you say, boy, what a time to do that. But against Muster, it's a very legitimate good play.
Well, here he does again. Look where Muster is, so far behind the baseline. Agassi comes inside the baseline, comes under, but doesn't even have to hit a great drop shot because Muster's so far back, he can't quite get to it. Watch where Muster is. Just reaches it, but not enough to control it. So Agassi goes up 4-2 here in the first. That's an excellent point, Cliff. And we're talking about Muster being such shape, great shape, physical. But, you know, most of the players out there, particularly at his level, they're in great condition. The difference with Muster is, I think what you referred to earlier, he doesn't get up on the wrong side of the bed one day. Every day he goes out there, he gives 100%. His attitude is what separates him, I think.
That one was just too easy for Muster to get to.
I get the feeling Agassi almost trying to toy with Muster a little bit with his mind as well as his game. That's just way too high, though. And Muster, determined to get under this ball, puts it down the line. Agassi almost trying to tell him, I can do whatever I want out here today. I don't think Muster likes that. You know, some players will say, as you said, Cliff, oh, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed today. You know, I just didn't have it. You'll never hear that from Thomas Muster. You may say, hey, I got beat. The guy just drilled me. Never those excuses.
That was the Australian ethic who dominated in the 60s and 70s, Patrick. I mean, if they had an injury, nobody ever knew about it. If they were sick, nobody even... If you played, you were in shame. Oh, boy, did he anticipate that one. In fact, that one was going to go wide, and he hit it anyway for a winner. So Muster wins the game, but Agassi still a breaker serve up. Agassi serving now into the sun, leading 4-3 first set. Program seller there. Patrick McEnroe's picture is not in that program. I can tell you that because people have been asking for his autograph while I walk alongside him. Nobody asks for mine, and he doesn't have them.
Yeah, they keep looking and looking for my picture.
Thomas Muster building a house in Australia, scheduled to be ready in January, round about the Australian Open time. It's in Noosa Heads, Queensland. In fact, he came to Cincinnati on Sunday directly from Noosa Heads. He was checking there with the builders.
Incredible. He flew from Europe all the way down there for a day or two, then shows up here on Sunday. Normally you think, you know, when we go to Australia to get ready for Australia, we got to get there a week, you know, a couple weeks earlier to prepare. This guy flies in on Sunday, plays on Tuesday, and wins 1-1.
15 love.
Couple good serves there from Agassi, getting out to a quick 3-30 love lead.
That's a great shot. Agassi is hitting the ball very well, and he's got a 5-3 lead in the first set now. Agassi in his last outing was at the Olympic Games, and he took out a number of European players there. In fact, he's had very good success against Europeans. Not quite as good against Americans, 10-6, as you can see. Took out Bjorkman, Kuchera, Gaudenzi, who practices a lot with Thomas Muster, Ferreira, Leander Paes, and Sergio Bruguera. That's at the Olympics last week. Gold medalist for the USA.
Had some very tough matches early on in the Olympics. Down a set and a break against Gaudenzi. Ferreira served for the match against him. He fought through all those matches and hung in there, and I think that's what's really turned him around. And then he played that incredible match against Bruguera where he just crushed him in the final.
15-all.
But just listening to Andre talk, it seemed the key for him was just hanging in those matches, toughing him out, as he said. And then he started to find his form, and he's kept that going this week here.
.30-15. It's his first. It will be Agassi to serve for the first set. He leads 5-4 in the first set. Stay with us, everybody. Back in a minute.
Can the Cowboys make it 4 out of the last 5? They've got some questions to answer, and they'll be tested by Bill Parcells, Drew Bledsoe, and the Pats in a preseason NFL matchup in Irving, Texas. New England at Dallas, Monday at 8 on ESPN. Formula One speeds through Budapest, the Grand Prix of Hungary. Tomorrow, 7:45 on ESPN2. Agassi leading 5-4. He's about to serve for the first set. Interesting thing coming up at Pacific Classic, isn't there? Cigar trying to break Citation's record of 17 consecutive wins. It's such a big story in that great sport. So you will tune in, I'm sure, tonight, 6 p.m. Pacific Classic. I-4.
Just tremendous hitting from Agassi there. Those couple forehands pretty much as hard as he could. Mustard did unbelievably well just to get a few of them back. And look where he is on this lot. It lands close to the line. He just goes, look at mid-air. He hits that. It's incredible timing.
Sun's behind him now, so that makes it much easier for the overhead. That when he has to, that fast backhand, Patrick, but it's a good shot, that. I mean, it's a nice change of pace.
He kept it real low there. It looks a little bit awkward, as you said, Cliff, but really effective there, especially against Musa with that big Western grip on the forehand. If you get that ball low, that's difficult to handle.
Smart
pleasant. I mean, he didn't put a lot on that first serve, only 83 miles an hour, but it was the angle that got it for him. 9 straight Mercedes Super 9 matches on hard courts. He won the Lipton.
Agassi wraps up the first set there and quite nicely. 4 straight points. 3 out of 4 first serves. As you said, Cliff, he's always thinking on his serve. If you think he's just going up there and just banging his serve, you're dead wrong. He's thinking about every point, trying to keep the guy guessing on the other side. Sometimes swinging it out wide, kicking it up into the body, straight up the middle.
Asterisk that goes with that. I agree with you. When he's focused and he's really trying, he is always thinking. But he plays too many matches where he sort of goes out there and doesn't think. And that's when he goes down in flames. Second set, love 30.
Well, Muster needs to buckle down here. If he gets down a quick early break, he's not going to be happy about that. Just like the first, where Andre broke him right away.
That shot that set it up, a crossing shot, cross-court to the backhand, he rifled it.
Well, that thing had so much pace on it. You can't get an idea from this slow-mo, but that thing is just coming with so much heat. Muster just can't handle it. Tries to hit a drop volley, and here he's just dead in the water. Agassi just flicks it down the line. Triple break point.
Ace, he saves 1. That is his second ace. Second set, just like he did in the first. Agassi, the number 6 seed. Muster, the number 2 seed at the ATP. But Agassi is in control for now.
The best tennis players in the world play on the ATP Tour. And like all great competitors, they disagree on just about everything. Which tournaments to play, surfaces, line calls, playing styles, even which language to argue in. But there is one thing they do agree on. The ball. The Penn ATP Tour ball. Bringing harmony to professional tennis.
Hey, back at Watkins Glen, Bill Evers in Victory Lane standing by with our winner.
Well, Andy Santerre really wanted to showcase his skills here at Watkins Glen today, and you did. Congratulations, and Victory Lane, your 3rd win of the year.
Oh, thanks. I can't say enough. You know, my team did a great job. Team EJP wins, Pennzoil Boilers, Sunoco Race Fuels, Pennzoil, everyone that's helped me this year. It's been a great year. This is our 3rd win. We've won 6 Bush Pole Awards. Couldn't ask for a better year, and I attribute that to my crew. They've done a great job.
It's his 3rd win of the year, Andy Santerre in Victory Lane here at the Bush North race in Watkins Glen, New York.
Santerre takes the victory. There's a look at the top 15. Santerre, Park, Leighton, Stefanik, and Quarterly in the top 5. Thanks for watching our coverage of the Bush North race, Burnham Bowlers 150. Now let's go back and join Cliff Drysdale and Patrick McEnroe in tennis in Ohio.
Fans enjoying this great championship. The weather is much better today. For the first few days, it was oppressively hot here in the greater Cincinnati area. Now it is considerably cooler. What, low 80s about today, I would have thought.
Really perfect weather. Very just slight little breeze. Not really affecting the players much on court. Perfect conditions.
And much, much lower humidity than earlier in the week. Agassi serving into the sun. You can see him tossing that ball to try to find a spot to put it up there that's not going to blind him. He's much more vulnerable on serve that side because of the sun. You have to do, Coach, when you're on a side there and the ball toss that you normally use is right into the sun. What do you do?
Well, you might have to alter your toss a little bit, maybe throw it behind you, maybe in front of you a little bit more. And I think you just have to take a little bit off your first serve. Make sure you get it in high percentage of first serves in. Because a lot of times the glare of the sun affects you on the next shot. And it's usually for a slight split second, you might have a little glare in your eye, and that could be enough to not see the ball properly in the next shot. So that's why you maybe take a little bit off the pace of the serves, gives you that little extra time. Then as a player, it really messes with your head a little bit, because then you say, well, maybe I should go for a bigger serve and try to end the point quickly. So sometimes it just wreaks havoc on your head.
Game point. No trouble on that first serve, and he holds on 2 games to love Agassi. It's an important one for Agassi to win this, because this is not Thomas Muster's favorite surface by any means, and this shows you just how hard it has been for him.
As you can see, he doesn't play that many matches on hard courts. He says that his knee, because of the surgery we talked about earlier, doesn't hold up that well if he plays lots of matches on the hard surface.
That is a great shot from Agassi. Low 15.
Look at those all-time record on hard courts. Look at all the matches Agassi's played. 275 wins. Muster just 103. Playing on hard courts isn't great for Muster's knee, but playing on clay is good for his bank account.
It is.
That's a lot better for his bank account.
Truthfully, I don't think it's good for anybody's knee to play on a hard court. Couple of big points coming up here. Agassi has the first set. He's got a break already. If he can get an insurance break, Muster's in a deep hole.
There's that slice you talked about, Cliff. Really kept that low. And Muster's, with that big Western forehand, just couldn't get under the ball enough. Just clipped the tape. That's happened a couple times now. So double break point for Agassi to go up 2 breaks in the second set.
Saves 1. Deuce tonight, 7:30 on ESPN2. Live coverage of the second singles match of the day. Michael Chang, USA, will take on Thomas Enquist of Sweden, who beat Pete Sampras yesterday.
Tremendous play from Agassi. Both guys just crushing the ball on those ground strokes.
He's exposing a weakness of Muster's, isn't he?
He really is. It's a dangerous shot if you don't hit it perfectly, but Andre hits it perfectly here. This is just after an incredible exchange, and look how he just comes under it, close. Muster didn't even make a run for that. Break point again. You know, if Muster doesn't make a run for it, what a shot it must have been. See Andre sucking a little air there. I think both players are winded after that last point. And Andre maybe, look at Muster, he plays better when he's more winded. He loves it.
He got the line on that one. It's an ace. Agassi very unhappy.
Rich Kaufman in the chair. He's not going to, as he always likes to say, I'm not going to touch that one. No. That's what Rich always says.
It was too far anyway. Too far away.
Certainly looked good from up here, but Andre thought otherwise.
Oh, boy. I wonder why he doesn't do that more often. We saw a couple of these shots there from Wayne Ferreira yesterday with his two-hander.
Well, look at him move out of the way so smoothly, catches the ball right in front, winner.
And that is
Clips the tape and Muster holds on. This match is still very much alive now. No insurance break for Agassi as hard as he tried. It is 2 games to 1 for Agassi. He won the first 6-4. This is the ATP Championships.
From August 10th through the 18th, don't miss the champions of tennis at the Pilot Pen International. Kotelnikov, the French Open, a champion. Krajicek, Wimbledon, a champion. Plus some of the hottest players on the ATP Tour, including Malavia Washington, Wimbledon finalist, Jim Courier, Michael Stieck, Marc Rosset, Marcelo Rios, and many more. All at the Connecticut Tennis Center in New Haven. Just call 1-888-99-PILOT and reserve your seats today.
What's the right grip feel like? Should you use the same club on every chip shot? The answers are in Golf Digest. No matter how well you play, you'll find tips and advice that will dramatically improve your game. Guaranteed. Want to know where the slot is at the top of your backswing? Or if you're good enough to carry a 4-iron, subscribe to Golf Digest. 12 issues are only $19.77. You'll also get our video, Hit It Longer and Straighter, free.
Call 800-228-1500. That's 800-228-1500.
Great field here at the ATP Championships in Mason, Ohio. 9 of the top 10 players in the world, and Andre Agassi is on the brink of getting to the final. If he can win this match against Thomas Muster, he's got to break in the second. And then tonight at 7:30 Eastern Time on ESPN2, the number 3 player in the world, who's not that far behind Thomas Muster, will take on Thomas Enquist, who will in all probability get back into the top 10. He's number 12 in the world right now, but he beat Pete Sampras yesterday.
What a match that should be tonight. And Chang, undefeated this summer, having already won 2 tournaments, but he's never beaten Enquist. Enquist has beaten him 3 times. So that should be quite a match.
Agassi thought about going into the net behind that 2-hander, changed his mind, and I think that out of the side of his eye, Thomas Muster saw that and lost concentration, clipped it off the frame. Point Agassi, 15 love. Let.
Andre likes that serve in the deuce court, especially against Muster on the backhand. If Muster doesn't even makes that return, doesn't get it back deep enough, Andre's got the whole court to work with on the other side. 30-15.
That's too good. Too good. Even if he gets it back, Patrick, even if he gets it back deep, he's still got an open court.
Exactly.
So it's a very good serve. We're talking about the wide one to the backhand side on this point right here. Let's see if he tries it again. That one. Out of court, clean winner for Agassi, and he holds on 3-1. Much easier when the sun's behind him.
Cliff, you know what you're talking about here, don't you? Look at this. He set that up perfectly. Look where Muster is, way outside the court. Actually, I mean, not a terrible return, but lands short, actually pretty short. Andre just lines it up. It's right down the line into the open court. Even Muster can't run that down.
I don't know about how much I know, but I'm just echoing what you said.
I can see Andre faked the drop shot there. Muster started to run in. I thought he was going to drop it, and at the last second he hit it back deep. And Muster just couldn't quite get his footing there. Off balance. He's just getting worked over by Agassi right now. Then Muster employs the same tactic with the lefty serve into the opposite court, the wide serve. And he gets the forehand into the open court. Here you see it here. He gets the short forehand, the one he loves, that inside out. Right down the line. Plenty of court. A lot of margin for error there. When you're able to swing your opponent very wide.
With Muster serving into the sun, I think this is a big game for Agassi. He could get the insurance break here. He's in good shape. Wide, 30 all. Big point coming up for Muster. He has got to hold on here. Or look out.
And Muster feeling the pressure of the Agassi return, knowing he's going to try to attack that second serve. He goes for just a little extra, and that's what causes that double fault there. Now break point for Agassi for 4-1 in the second.
That is a great effort by Agassi to get to it, and then Muster just guides it down the line for a clean winner. Well played.
Agassi really smoked that return, and thus Muster mishits it. Gets a little lucky, actually. Agassi runs it down, and Muster just crushes the backhand.
That's too good. And that is so pretty to watch. Cross-court, 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 and then a winner down the line by Agassi. Look at this.
Watch the way he holds it here. Watch the way he holds the ball. Waits, waits, waits. He sees Muster goes the opposite way, down the line with the winner. Tremendous racket control.
Break point again. Another double fault. That is 3 for the match, and he is in deep trouble. Down 2 breaks for 1. First set to Agassi, 6-4. The number 16 looking good.
Dad, good news, bad news. You switched to that bargain brand of paper and saved us $21 this year. Now, the bad news?
Don't tell your mother.
The last thing you want to worry about is paper jamming. That's why Union Camp created Great White recycled content paper. It's virtually worry-free, so it's as good for your business as it is for the environment. Great White, only from Union Camp. One less thing to worry about.
Stanley, I'm home.
Son, hide this.
Man o' War, Citation, Secretariat, and now Cigar. One horse on a hot streak is out to break Citation's 46-year record of 16 consecutive wins. And this Saturday, one defining race could place Cigar in the most elite circle of winners in thoroughbred history.
And down the stretch they come. Here's the champ. Here is Cigar.
The Pacific Classic at Del Mar, tonight at 6, only on ESPN.
Agassi in control of this match, and he's won more Mercedes Super 9 titles than anyone else at 8, including the Lipton this year. That's his only one this year. Pete Sampras is tied with Muster at 7. Muster won 2 this year on clay on Monte Carlo and the Italian.
Yeah. And he's won 1 of those, was that one we spoke about earlier, Essen, in Germany, indoors. All the rest of them, of course, on clay, and all of Andre Agassi's on hard courts. Andre's biggest serve of the match so far, 119 right up the middle. You're the unforced errors, pretty even. Muster with a couple more. Agassi with 7 more winners, 4 breaks for Agassi. You know, it's unusual to see Thomas Muster have that many unforced errors in a match, and that's really just a case of who he's playing against today. Because he knows if he doesn't hit a good, deep shot, that Agassi's going to just crush that ball and put him on the defensive, so he tends to have to go for more.
You know, an unforced error is in the eye of the beholder, too, the guy who's calling it an unforced error. And I think Agassi just puts a lot of pressure on a player.
Well, we saw that with those couple double faults in the last game. And on break point, just Agassi wearing him down. Whoa! Not so much physically, but just mentally with all his pace. Each point, he's all over him, and that just takes its toll.
Yeah, he was supposed to have played Malavia Washington if Washington had taken out Alex O'Brien, but Washington had to pull out, and Alex O'Brien actually won the first set against Agassi and then lost the next two. And as I mentioned yesterday, he said to me afterwards, he said, it's just awesome how much pressure you're under constantly. It's sort of my generation's Jimmy Connors. I mean, that's the way he was. Everything flat, everything hard. And if you played against him, you had to cover a lot of territory.
Mooster finds one there in a dead run. Just imagine he's saying to himself, those are the kind of shots I have to come up with just to win points right now. And that's just too much to ask of anyone.
Oh,
look at that.
That was good.
Just teeing off on that thing.
That might have been called wide by the line's person, but it was overruled by Richard Kaufman in the chair. Look at this.
Look at this. Oh, incredible time. He clips the top of the net and right on the line. Started off early in the match with those two net courts. That seemed to be a moment of things to come. 2 points from the match now, Andre Agassi.
Double fault. So the fire has gone from Thomas Muster's game, and I never thought I'd say that, but Agassi has really gotten to him today.
I think Muster wants out. He doesn't want out, but he knows it's out. Out the door.
Oh, show me to the exits, he says. Let me get the tub.
Agassi will be happy to show him to the exit. Just tremendous shot making there at the end. Muster, look at them. They respect each other. That's just tremendous play from Agassi, just stepping up his game. Listen to the crowd here.
Agassi answered a few questions today. In my mind, Patrick, he was super. He's playing against the #2 player in the world, albeit on his favorite surface. But Muster has played some good tennis this week, and he made him look like a beginner, didn't he?
He was just right from the beginning, 4-1, just routining Muster today.
Agassi will play the final against Enquist or Michael Chang. Those two will play tonight, 7:30 p.m. on ESPN2. A lot more tennis coming your way from the ATP. Back in a minute.